I'm sure you're making your summer plans for traveling,
Yes,
Dennis,
of course.
right? Of course. Well, as we all know, prices are going higher, and there's a lot of natural disasters happening, civil unrest all over the world. So is it a good time to buy travel insurance? Well, Scott McCartney is joining us to let us know whether or not it's a good deal. And Scott, I know that a lot of people might want to purchase insurance if they're traveling, but they really should read the fine print, right?
Yeah, it's a tricky business, Kelsey. Travel insurance standard policies include all kinds of exclusions, often the very things that people want insurance for. And in the general mood that's out there right now, where people are anxious about what's happening on the terrorism front, on natural disasters, on civil uprisings, all that kind of thing, often you buy travel insurance and end up with a policy that's not going to cover you.
So what should people be reading for? I mean, if they're booking a trip and if something happens, how do they know whether they're going to be covered? Does it say whether it's related to terrorism or whether it's related to a hurricane or those kinds of things? Are they written in there, or do you have to make sure that it is in there?
No, well, they're written in there. You have to look at the terms and conditions and focus on the section of exclusions. Terrorism, for example, it's pretty typical that a policy will only cover a cancellation for terrorism if there's a terrorist attack in the city you're going to, often within 30 days of your trip. So if there are bombings somewhere in Europe, but doesn't happen to be the city that you're going to, your policy may not cover you. One way around that is to look for policies that allow you to cancel for any reason, and they're called cancel for any reason policies. They're more expensive. Often the premium is 40 to 50% more, but the coverage is much broader, and it allows you to use the insurance for fear and anxiety. Hurricanes are another example. If the hurricane doesn't hit your particular island and render your hotel uninhabitable, the insurance may expect you to go, but you may not want to go. And so cancel for any reason.
Do you want to lay in the beach in a hurricane, Dennis?
I love that we're airing tornado footage, but to that effect, Scott, it seems that every time you go on a travel website, you are lovingly offered the opportunity to buy travel insurance. Are those policies a good deal or not?
They're really not, Dennis. Part of the reason is there's a middleman involved. So the airline wants you to, or the cruise line wants you to buy their insurance that they've hooked into a deal with a certain carrier. It's like buying the first pair of shoes somebody offers you somewhere, and the only offer they're making to you. You can do better shopping independently on some independent websites, or you're using a travel agent or going directly to an insurance vendor.
And we know, Scott, the margins on an insurance policy are probably far greater than selling a coach class airfare.
Yeah, well, you think about it, you pay 6 to 10% for that kind of insurance. If the insurance costs 10%, are you going to have a claim 1 out of every 10 trips? It's especially with all the exclusions, and it turns out to be not very useful. It's often just money wasted.
Money wasted. No one wants to do that when they're about to go traveling. All right, Scott, thanks so much for joining us from Dallas today.